in the Lena ban. No surprises there?
No, I mean, I think Fear loves playing Lena, one of his best heroes. And they probably noticed it yesterday, and now they just want to get rid of it. Enigma is no surprise. NA, SA, both regions love playing Enigma. You know, you can put him off lane or 4. He just denies the creep in off lane, makes the carries farm like Verse. You know, Archer gives a lot of gold, and he just takes it out of the equation. So yeah, it's a fine ban.
And also joining us for the draft, we've got your friend Bulba. So Bulba, you can come in and give us your thoughts on this first wave of bans here. Lifestealer taken out there by Infamous.
Nice to be back, Richard.
Yeah, good to have you.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think both teams actually don't really draft the concrete way. J.Storm has some weird drafts. Yesterday they picked like Grimstroke and a Sven and a Slark for some reason, and you know they do kind of like pick weird sometimes, and the same for Infamous. So it's going to be interesting to like. I don't really know what to predict who will pick what.
And I'll tell you what, I am so grateful to J.Storm for taking out the Medusa. I don't know if I could sit through another Medusa game after yesterday. Medusa seem to be ubiquitous. So.
I mean, yeah, once the Deuce is picked, I don't like to talk about Deuce, you know, it's going to do the same thing over and over. There's just no flashy plays. It's like it's same as picking Viper every game, you know, there's not much you can do. You're going to do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't enjoy talking about Deuce, but they banned Nyx and Lena, which is like kind of Fear's heroes, both of them, and maybe they're just targeting Fear, you know, maybe the thing, those 2 heroes are the only heroes he played well. I don't know what they're thinking, but solid bans for Infamous.
Absolutely. And a good, you know, safe first pick as well, seeing the Ogre out. Now this is interesting because the Brew was banned, I think, every first phase yesterday across the 2 series we saw. And Brew slipped through. So why is Brew suddenly a popular pick or ban?
I mean, he's just a strong teamfight hero on offlane. He's the strongest team fighter. You know, once you get the Brewmaster, you don't have to worry to be able to teamfight them anymore. You can pick anything in the draft, but like other offlaners such as, let's just say, give me a random thing, you know, Vengeful. Zai plays a lot of Vengeful, then you actually have to compensate for it by picking teamfight on your mid or your carry or your supports. But once you have this Brew, you can actually like do whatever you want in the game,
right?
Which is, you know, also is a really strong laner. Kind of makes some carries hard to play versus him. Like the lift thingy, you have to buy BKB at one point, otherwise you're just gonna like fly during the entire duration. So yeah, it's a good kiting hero, good teamfight hero, and buys utility items.
All right, so what do you think of the Shadow Shaman pick there as well, Bulba?
I think Fear's kind of going the route of picking more lane secures for himself. I think there's like, I personally think it's better for him too. I think he's much better on these Rasta, Lena kind of heroes, Rubik, rather than like the Earth Spirits and stuff. So I think this is also a better route for them as a team, especially with how 4 plays in the offlane. 4 is like a different kind of offlaner. He farms a lot, and he's like a player that will, that was kind of always how he's been. He needs to have a good lane, and that's something they prioritize. And the Pango from J.Storm, that's for his hero. It's one of his best heroes. I think it's his best hero right now in this patch. So
yeah, but Bryle also played it yesterday, mid, so it's an open hero.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, a little bit of a flex pick there.
Yeah, I mean, you always need to have one open hero in the first 2, like every draft. Otherwise, they know what you're gonna do, which kind of makes it hard for the captain to draft.
So just while I got you here, I mean, obviously Pango did take some nerfs in the last patch, you know, notably the fact that you can't double up on the you know, silence and everything. Is it still a very strong hero? Is it still viable?
I mean, he was never strong in lane. Like, he still is pretty weak. You know, it's really hard to get through the lane. But once he gets the 6, his ultimate is really good. Like, there's so many, like, these pits, you know, where you can just roll through, and it's really hard to team fight there. And he kind of makes you buy BKB because this disarm and this silence is really strong. And but I wouldn't say he's one of the best offlaners right now, but it's more of like comfort pick and what they want to do on J.Storm, you know.
Yeah. Bulba, anything to add to that?
Oh, by the way, I had this screen mixed up, so it was actually Fear is not on the Rasta. It's actually Infamous with the Rasta. That was my bad.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. There's a rule in broadcasting, Bulba. When people make little mistakes like that, you never acknowledge it on the broadcast. But it's good. It's good of you to fess up. I admire that, brother.
Okay.
You're an honest man.
Thank you. But yeah, this is also one of Moose's favorite heroes in pubs. He plays Rasta, Enigma, and Shaker. Those are his kind of 3 favorite heroes to play in NA pubs. So he's probably going to be playing the Rasta, and now they probably are going to pick Fear's hero on the 3rd pick there for J.Storm. I guess their first pick, so Infamous needs to pick first. Ideally, they've banned the OD. It's one of one of other Browse's other favorite heroes to play.
Yeah.
It's a good ban, and the Ember. So there's like kind of 2 bans marketed towards Bryle. And Ember's quite good versus Panda, and they have Panda obviously, so they want to ban that.
Yeah, so it makes sense. So what are the hotly contested picks here then at this phase? What do you expect to see?
They need a hero for Biver. He plays like, it feels like yesterday they played with kind of 2 4s. Both their supports farmed a lot in both the games. They didn't really have like March is kind of a different, you know, like March is barely takes any farm. He buys all the wards and sentries, and you know, he's just there. And then meanwhile in Infamous, it's like they had kind of 2 supports that play a lot greedier. One game they had Shadow Demon and Shaker, and the other game they had Wyvern and Enigma. So they might just, they're definitely going for the greedier route.
I mean, Oracle is still in the pool. Kind of surprised no one picked it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that as well. I mean, you've been talking a lot about how you think this Oracle is easily a first phase pick right now.
Yeah, it is. If you think about it, you know, it gives you save and all the stuff. I don't know what this Ogre does. You know, it's not even not even close. It's Oracle also cancels TP, so it's not like you need a stun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if he just doesn't play the hero or he doesn't like the hero. But it's like not the smartest thing to do. You know, just pick Ogre or Oracle.
I mean, March likes playing more of those kind of heroes, I think.
All right, I'm calling it for J.Storm. This is a stomp. If Grimstroke has been picked, I think he's literally the worst hero in the game right now. And
well, it counters Pango. That's why they picked it.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. Then you have a Grimstroke, you know? Like, you have 2 useless heroes, not Gretz.
Magnus.
Okay. Do you agree with that, Bulba?
I mean, I don't think he's the worst hero. I think he's quite good versus Pango. He's one of the best 5s. And dealing with Pango, the problem is the hero has just been so nerfed for the last few months. There's some teams that still pick it. I know X-Nova still plays it. I actually think that's like the only 5 player that still plays the hero.
So I'm seeing a Magnus in alongside the Ogre Magi. So is this? Do you think we're going to see them like try and go for like a hyper carry that they can give the boost to with the Bloodlust and everything and the Empower?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hyper carry. It's like kind of what they did yesterday too with the Magnus. They didn't win that game. I think it was another team that ran Magnus, but they're going to have like Magnus, and it's going to pick like Troll or PA here or Jugger.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. Sumail's been talking a lot about how he thinks Troll Warlord is sort of a good pick right now. I don't think we've seen a Troll, have we?
I mean, they have Brew, which is sort of good. It goes both ways, but I think PA is just a solid pick for J.Storm. Even though they have Suen, which is kind of good against PA, but still, if they pick PA, their lineup is really solid. They have an easy draft to play. They would know what they're supposed to do in the game. Just makes Dota very basic, and you kind of want Dota to be basic sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
simplify. Right?
Yeah, like you don't want to like first game of the day you're playing. You don't want to do anything crazy. You don't want to actually rely on your skills because you're kind of tired, you know, or maybe not. But this way, you can just chill around and just treat it like a pub, you know, and it's actually a good way to approach pro games too sometimes.
So yeah, we got the Sven lurking there. Good in this composition. I can already tell you're not a big fan of the Infamous draft, but they did say they were going to pick some interesting stuff. So
it's the first time I haven't seen Fear plays Magnus. I've seen a lot of their games. So.
Oh, and there you go, Sumail. You called it.
Thank you.
Your psychic powers coming in handy out here.
Yeah, maybe I gave some tips to J.Storm, you know. Maybe I did.
What if Fear's never practiced Magnus? I've never seen him play.
I hope Fear's not playing Magnus. It's going to be a rough game otherwise.
I hope it isn't a offlane Magnus.
I think it's a forever Magnus. I've never seen Fear touch that hero, and
if it's a 4 of Magnus, it's not that he's a back Magnus. I just think Magnus offlane is bad.
I mean, I think Fear Magnus is bad. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'd rather have Fear play the Magnus.
Well, yeah, you don't know what people have been practicing, Secret.
I know I've watched Fear, man. He doesn't play much Dota recently, you know.
Yeah.
He just it's not the easiest hero to play Magnus, but let's see. Maybe Fear doesn't skill RP at all. You know, he just goes 1-4-1 and.
Well, I was going to say, I think we saw that yesterday. I can't remember which player did it, but somebody built Magnus and then just didn't prioritize getting the blink at all. You know,
it was a Moon Meander.
Yeah, right. Moon Meander.
People tend to do it. You know, like Guardian Greaves is such a broken item right now in Dota that you can skip blink for like even pipe and stuff on some heroes that you used to go like blink by default back in the day. And Magnus is more about just empower now. It's RP. If you get a good RP off, it's just a bonus. But it's the second spell that.
Yeah.
It's really strong, and pretty much
definitely strong in conjunction as well with the
PA.
PA.
All he has to do this game is just to like run around with PA. PA's bloodlusted, empowered, and she's just gonna 1v5 this game because Like that hero is really strong when she's farmed. Probably the best carry in my opinion. Like the easiest to play too, you know. You
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have to
very
think
basic.
much. You
Yeah.
just throw your Q, you blink in, you get out, you do the same thing, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. So we're going to see if Infamous can find some bans and a pick here that's going to
They need a black
neutralize
hero,
it.
like a hero that black plays.
Mm.
So, but they're their last pick, so they're gonna wait to see J.Storm. It's gonna either be Bryle. I mean, like Sumel said, we don't know what this Magnus is. Hopefully, it is a Fear Magnus. I think if it's offlane Magnus, I wanna bet my marbles on Infamous. If that's a saying, I think it is. So.
Well, yeah, so far, and you can see a little bit of tension creeping in while they try and find what J.Storm are going to pick. Obviously, they're going to have an option to throw in a crazy curveball right at the end. Infamous. Could be something
They
that
should.
fits the entire draft.
If J.Storm should pick Bat Rider and make the Pangler mid, because they have Sven and Panda right now on Infamous. So if they pick Bat, both these heroes cannot lane versus Bat, and they're gonna. And it's like they can just send the Pango mid. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if J.Storm gonna go tri-lane with 3 melees or just like PA Magnus top, you know. What do you think, Boba?
I think if they pick Bat, they probably shouldn't. They can even just do Magnus PA in one lane and Bat Ogre another. Something like that. Or Ogre PA.
Well, they've got a long time to think about it here, so it's the second time I think I've heard you call for the Bat Rider as well.
Yeah. Okay, Kunkka instead.
I was gonna say Kanka. I really was gonna say Kanka, but Boba just started talking.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say I called it.
No,
Even though I didn't.
I trust you. I trust.
I think
Thank
Bat's
you.
better pick personally, but fine with the Kunkka too.
I think the Skunk carry is just strong with Magnus, you know, it just amplifies him a lot. I personally feel it's good against Brewmaster, you know, and it's not one of those heroes that is threatened by Rasta. Like if you're playing some more traditional flashy meds like Embers and Pucks and Storm, you know, it's harder.
Timbersaw? Necrophos.
Necrophos.
How do you feel about that Necro pick?
It's a decent pick. It's not that great versus Kanka or Pango because when you use a W, like both damages a lot. Pango also has a lot of magic damage, and even versus PA, you know, like it's not like once PA blinks on you, you press W, like she's like dead, you know. She can just go back and just do the same thing.
Yeah, of course BKB Pearson as well.
It's
so something to think about.
It's a bit better matchup than it used to be. I think the Necro versus PA. I saw it at the major. It's like VP versus something, but the PA has to play differently now. He doesn't really play off the daggers as much now. He like I see a lot of the PAs, they just go in man fight because the talents got changed. So and the Necropho's Heartstop aura is like really broken. It's actually what makes this hero decent, I think.
Well, we're going to see if that's a factor. Thank you very much, Bulbra. I'll let you get prepared for the commentary, and thank you very much as well, Sumail. And that's it, guys. Now we are ready for the first game of the day. Infamous versus J.Storm. Remember, this is for a place in the championship match, taking on Team Serenity for the belt later on. We're going to find out who it's going to be after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that quick break. We are ready to jump into our first match of the day as J.Storm take on Infamous. Very fun draft coming through. Looks like we're going to have a hyper carry PA on one side of the coin. Other side, there is some push potential. They've got the Rasta. You got to fight around your God Strength. They got the Panda as well, and a Necro coming out as that last pick.
I am so excited to see Forev Pango, to be quite honest. Like, I've watched this guy through NA qual after NA qual. He will just create the most crazy, chaotic team fights. This is a great pickup, I think, for J.Storm.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his favorite heroes. He plays it every game in PUBG. He actually plays like only Pangolier and Mars. I don't know why he's playing Mars. It's not on CM mode yet, but I guess the hero's fun. But yeah, his Pango's really good. I think they picked it all 3 games versus EG in the qualifiers as well for the upcoming major too. So he's definitely experienced in it.
I'm still looking at that Necrophos. I'm a little concerned about that. I guess there's the potential for a double scythe though too, right? With the Grimstroke?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to get off though. It's like a Grimstroke combos in general are like a bit weird. Like they can also do the Grimstroke plus the Sven thing. It's just it's a weird hero, you know, like Grimstroke Doom. There's like another one too, but regardless, it's like kind of hard to execute sometimes to get the combo off.
It definitely is. I think the worst thing is when you see people try to force that and get baited into something.
It looks like J.Storm is going aggro tri-lane, and they're going to put 4F top on the Pangolier.
Alright, Infamous is going to be able to secure themselves 3 of those runes so
if
far.
this is a good idea by Infamous, or by J.Storm to go aggro. I think they will lose this tri-lane. But I don't think Infamous should dodge. I think they should keep the tri-lane bottom and have the Panda just solo the Panga. I don't think that matches. Okay, they chose to do it. I chose to do it.
Fierce taking a lot of damage right now.
You look stunned.
So he'll tango up, hang out here on the back lines a little bit while he regens, and we'll see how this lane's going to clash up. It was the Ignite taken up, of course, on your Ogre, and just be kind of like a war of attrition down here. See if they can get anybody low and make that go.
Yeah. Since J.Storm are going to lane like this, they're going to sack their PA. Their tri-lane is not strong versus Infamous. They have this Magnus with boots too, so he has no real like tank potential in the lane. He has very low regen and no stout shield, so he's gonna get harassed. And they have Shadow Shaman and Grimstroke too, so it's like this tri-lane is really hard for. Yeah, you can see like Moo's just getting completely bullied. He might even die here.
Yeah, Moo's gonna try and juke through the trees. Looks like maybe 2 more attacks might take him down. There's 1. He's got a lot of regen. 2 comes through, and Skitter will be taking first blood. Skitter happy to grab it. I mean, this is one guy that's been playing phenomenally at this event as well.
This is very, very game losing, what they're doing right now by J.Storm. They should not have won aggro tri-lane. If Infamous play this lane well, this PA will get very, like, nothing out.
What do you think's going through their head to, like, make that decision?
Because I think they didn't want to sack 4F, because if they let 4F bottom, he would get nothing. But I think that was much better than what's happening now. And also, I don't know how this Pango versus Brewmaster is. This matchup is on top lane. I'm entirely sure. I think it's probably player dependent. But regardless, like the mid matchup, also I'm not sure exactly how it is. I think theoretically Necro should beat Kunkka, but I don't think Kunkka should suffer too much in terms of CSing. Like obviously with Kunkka, you can't deny as easily now, but it's still easy to get last hits on the hero. However, I think as the matchup goes longer and longer, Necro will win. So, but regardless, this bot lane, like they're gonna have 3 heroes that have nothing on J.Storm if they keep the lanes like this. And they're kind of stuck now. They can't really move out, you know. Like the Pandas, if they switch the lanes, the Pandas is going to be really like way too hard for them to deal with on top.
Well, I mean, so you've got this matchup right now with Forev in the top lane. Pango not really known for being like the strongest of laners, but in this case, there's not too much that Brewmaster can really do to harass him.
It's not that. It's like I think Brewmaster he's just gonna be able to CS better. Like he's just a better CSer, and his E spell is really strong in lane. Like this Pango will lose regen, I think. So it's still a skill matchup, but I do think like if it's an even player, I do think Brewmaster should win. Papita actually owned yesterday. If you guys remember, he played Slaughter versus Necro. He got like he solo killed the Necro 3 times, and he's been doing really well. And he's on fire right now. He's 6 CS with 4 denies.
You could tell like these guys, as soon as the cam panned over to him on this pause, like they're actually pretty hyped right now.
Yeah. He's 4 denies on the first 2 waves. It's quite big in a side lane matchup, 1v1.
Man, I love, like, if you watch these players over here, Black looked like he was so pumped. It looked like he was telling everyone, like, oh, this is it. This is our game. Let's go. Like, I love his attitude. I love seeing that coming out from players.
Yeah, no, I mean, player mentality is a huge thing. I think Bulba probably speaks to that better than anyone.
Yeah, he's very energetic as a person. He's like always hype. He's probably like the most hype player. I think if you guys remember, he was on VG for like a year or two, and it's like whenever they'd won tournaments, like he'd be like super hype, and his team would be super calm, you know, like they would all just be really quiet, and he'd be the one yelling and screaming, you know, lifting the trophy, you know.
Yeah.
Like
He took all of their energy. It's
Yeah.
all that spirit energy. He just
Yeah,
channels
so-
into Black there.
It's kind of funny how that works, right? Like, it's always great to see the passion, but, like, you know, obviously it can go both ways.
I think a lot of, you know, like in general, like you see people, and then you see like the audience sees what they see on the camera and stuff. And obviously some people are different on the camera compared to how they are, but Black, his personality is exactly the same. He's like, whatever you see on the camera, he's like the same energy in real life when you just talk to him. So it's
Is
pretty
Black
cool to
like
see.
the perfect human being? He's like the nicest guy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, of everybody like I've met, he was just like the nicest dude.
I mean, he's just very fun. He's very talkative, very sociable. So he's a likable person for sure.
He's got so much energy. I don't know how he keeps it all the time, but
He runs a lot.
that's how you were telling us yesterday.
runs.
Yeah, he likes to run.
But in game, he was doing the chasing yesterday. If you guys didn't get to see yesterday, Black, I mean, it was obviously draft dependent, but they did pick up that pudge for him. He took it to the safe lane
Oh, he ran away with the game.
and just went off. Like, it was really great to see.
There's nothing like watching, you know, a safe lane Pudge who builds himself a blade mail and a Radiance. You know,
Yeah.
how often do you get to see that? Had some great hooks. He was paired up very well with Pepita, too, who was running that Leshrek. So you have that split earth right into the hook, the loving arms of the big old butcher.
Yeah. Only accidentally hooked in the Centaur a couple times, but
And he was cool with
worked
it,
out for
though.
him.
Like, that's a problem. When your Pudge is like, come here, Centaur, that's not good. Usually
Yeah.
you want to avoid that.
Get over here.
They did the old Atos, the last track bought an Atos, and they just kept comboing with the Atos and the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ryoya was pretty triggered by that. I don't think he's...
Who would not be triggered?
Yeah, right?
Annoying to even look at, because you know, I'm sure you're playing that OD right now in your head, and you're like, what do I do?
I think we've all been there too. Like, we just constantly, for whatever reason, this one Pudge in your game just gets massive. He's getting all the hooks, and you're just like, oh, for the love of God, like, let me just play my game. You spend most of your time dead. Not great.
Barl over there.
He usually has such nice hair, right? Dude's hair's on fleek usually.
I'm just thinking about, okay, so like this bottom lane, obviously
started.
going well for Infamous down here. At what point do we see them maybe like make a rotation out of this lane?
For Infamous?
Yeah.
I mean, they can do it. They don't even need to rotate out. They're already winning the lane. Like, look at this PA. It's so sad. He's getting completely bullied. They want to skewer him in. Okay.
Well, they do manage to get the skewer, and they'll hold the shackles, though. Might be able to turn this around. Inkswell connects, and Fear is no longer an issue. March now, too. He's a tanky
no.
ogre. He's usually able to survive such things, but will be able to duck behind the tower. They're not going to chase after him this time.
They're just basically winning every game, which is the opposite of what happened to both their games yesterday versus GG&G. They lost their lanes. And J.Storm is actually a team, I think they rely a lot on snowballing. So when they're losing the lanes like this, it's going to be rough for them.
Really diving over here.
Moo is not getting any last hits. It's 4 CS. They're denying really well.
Another shackle comes out here onto Moo. Skewer misses.
God.
But they're under tower here, so I mean, Infamous have to respect that. But you see, they're still playing incredibly aggressively.
If Sumo is not, if Sumo's not joking about telling them to pick this Magnus PA, he might have, it doesn't feel like they've actually practiced this strategy. I've never seen them run this. Literally, we've scrimmed them, they've played a lot of pubs with NA, they play a lot of matches. I've never seen them play Magnus PA before.
I mean, maybe not practiced on it, but like this wouldn't be like the strength of it in the early laning phase, right? Like, once they can empower him up and he's got a couple items, like it's going to destroy people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the combo can catch up, right? But like this is the worst case situation. Flash or Fear's gonna go in for a skewer. Does he have his second spell? Okay.
Good or no? Oh, Death Pulse comes out at the end, but they get the kill onto Black, so it's a nice movement from Fear. Obviously losing the lane,
good.
but getting something done on the map.
Good job. And they've rotated out. The PA is TP top. And this Panda is going to be extremely high level. Compared to, okay, Forb is actually staying to kill the Brew.
Should be able to TP out in time, though. Yeah, he's out of there, though. Reaver is now in the middle of quite a few people have that invis rune over on Fear. The skewer back, lucky shot. The jump forward has that ink swell though. We'll be able to keep him alive a little bit longer. He's going to be able to stun up Forev. I think this is just, you know, you're making space at this point. You don't TP anyone up here.
This is really good by 4F to stay and not immediately just TP out. And obviously good rotation by Fear. He's like, I can't do anything here. But still, regardless, even though they got these kills, they're not really, like, this PA is still going to struggle. Like, they need to, 4 might even need to stay top, honestly, if, like, Moo's going to be able to farm. And look at the Grimstroke. He's running back top. So Grimstroke and Brew are going to be able to just pressure this PA. And the Brew's going to be extremely high level compared to her.
So how does Moo just get back into this right now, because he's struggling pretty hard?
It's gonna be like even. I mean, obviously, like, they need to get ancient stacks up. They need to just, like, they're gonna play a lot slower game. Like, Infamous needs to snowball. Like, this game, they need to win at some, like, 20-30 minutes, you know? Like, they can't go late game. They're not gonna win late game versus J.Storm's heroes. So they have to play fast. And that's another thing, like, it's kind of hard, you know, especially, like, they're a brand, like, you know, they have a kind of a new roster, they have a stand-in, it's kind of hard, you know, they have to play a lot better, I think, than J.Storm to win this game. But it's going well right now in terms of the lanes. The Sven is completely free farming.
Sven's being able to free farm there in the bottom lane, although Forev has made that rotation down to the bot. So is a lot of this going to be on J.Storm, you know, a lot on Forev actually, which luckily, you know, he is on that Pango just to make space, trying to, you know, allow PA to have the time to come online.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be him and the Kunkka. The problem is that he's now kind of low level. Like, not like low. He could have been higher level if he TP'd bottom, so he kind of just waited a bit to secure Moo's farm. He's still going to hit 6 as a decent timing. It's just like, let me check the Panda's level. Okay, they're actually, yeah. Panda's a little bit higher level than him. So as soon as Panda gets 6, they should make a move top. And looking J.Storm, their supports are rotating mid right now. Go Black.
March, they got the Ignite. Black, he's taking a lot of damage. And looks like he'll probably be getting taken down here. In fact, he will. A lot of rotations in from the Infamous. March does get the stun off. He's a tanky ogre. Will be able to walk himself out of here. And Bryle still has that haste, so not a problem for him. So a lot of heroes clashing in the mid lane, but only losing one.
Yeah. That was a good rotation by J.Storm. They're gonna just have to play off. Like, Bryle is like, he went even in the lane. Now he's winning because of the 2 ganks. And he's doing a good job. Like, you know, I'm not sure exactly how this lane matchup goes mid. But regardless, he's going even, and Black got his hero last picked. So it's always a good thing. And they're stacking for Moo to catch up. And Panda is just got 6 now, and this PA should not be able to, like, they should be able to kill this PA with the rotation. Like, 1 Panda ult and she'll die.
And we see Grimstroke making the move up to this top lane as well, so this could be the moment where they go on Moo here. We'll see, he does have Courier delivering some items right now.
I mean, the Inkswell combination of just, you know, having a speedy Panda run at you is just so good, right? Because it's good lockdown, gives you that extra little bit of speed, and then, you know, you could just go for the split. Even more lockdown will come out from that. So we just got to be careful. I'm sure the supports are going to have TPs. There is some movement, though, in that bottom lane, I think.
Yeah, the Pango has 6 now, so they're going to make a play to the Sven.
Skitter's been farming pretty well up to this point. Caught out with the Rolling Thunder.
Really
Ghost Ship's going to fly on there. Well, the Ghost Shark. They have a lot of damage, but he's tanking it all up. I'll go ahead and get pulled back, and it looks like he'll be chopped down here. So Bryle picking up his 3rd kill of the game at this point.
Yeah. J.Storm's doing a really good job of rotating, even though they've lost the lanes. Their supports are playing really well now, as well as Bryle and Forev. So.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Poor Moose has been spotted out by Forev. We'll see a TP rotation, though, coming right back to the lane. Skater.
They need to use this Panda ult. It's very important that they try and kill this PA. Like, Moo is just chilling top. He's kind of like, he's catching up slowly. You know, he's basically now around the same last hits as the Panda that had pretty much a little bit of free farm. And obviously he's empowered, he's gonna get empowered, and now he's gonna go farm the Ancients with Blur now. Or just the stacks there in general. So.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, you know, they were a bit stronger on the side of Infamous. You were saying, you know, the matchup for Panda was going quite nicely. But again, you have to keep in mind, they have Empower, they have a PA. She's going to be able to recover fairly nicely, especially with these big stacks that are being thrown out.
Look at the stack on the Ancients.
You're
Not
gonna
sure
need
if
help
that
with
top
that.
camp
It's
stack.
really big. Top camp, I think, did.
She's gonna wait to farm Ancients. What level in power is it? What level Magnus is it right now?
He's level 4,
Okay.
level 2 in power.
Yeah. So he's gonna just leech, try and get us level 7 fast as possible.
Is under attack.
And it'll be interesting to see what build Mu goes for as well. With Magnus, I see PAs go a lot of different builds. Every carry player has their own preference. I know Ame, he likes to go like phase boots and Yasha, and like mass rate bands. And then a few other PAs like going like, you know, Vlads and stuff like that. So it's all preference, you know, there's no real right answer. Obviously also game situational.
What would you like to see Mu build in this game? Do you think they're going to be very aggressive? Earlier, are they just going to take that advantage? Oh, started to pull together for that Rolling Thunder. Mu's being a bit cheeky here, is going to get taken down though. Ryle is just running away with the game right now.
Ryle making really nice movements. This is second time into the bottom lane. And that's 4 heroes from J.Storm securing up right around that bounty rune timing. So these guys clearly communicating well and moving around the map as a squad.
Yeah. Infamous needs to, like, they need to be able to do something right now with the heroes that are had, like a decent lane, like Papita. Because, like, if they play the game passively, like, they're gonna lose. You know, it's just how their draft works.
It's surprising me that they are playing so passively. Having, you know, I cover a lot of the South America games, and especially, you know, Infamous is one of those teams. And usually they're quite aggressive, so I don't know if this is the fact that they've got, you know, 2 new players and then Black also standing in. Maybe Black is saying, you know, let's just be patient, or...
I mean, it's like, it's fine. It's just like what they're doing. They got the top tower, which is good, and now they just need to make some move with the Pandal, you know, anywhere.
Do you think maybe like part of it is like once the 6 comes out on Shadow Shaman, then they can make a move on the tower?
Yeah, they can wait. It's just they have to do something with the next like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Right now, like I think that I forgot. I didn't see who got the tome. It might have been Shadow Shaman.
He's really close to a 6.
Yeah. So
they're setting up down here. Looks like they want to get the kill again. It's actually Bryle on the high ground once again. Level 9 on this Kunkka. Moves down. He's got the X. He'll drop the Shark once again, and nom as Bryle picks up his mega kill. 11.5 minutes in, dude. This Kunkka's going off.
yeah, he's been playing really well.
March just hitting the tower for some good measure, some good luck, right?
Exactly.
Brewmaster has Vlads. He's also very strong now too.
It's first move by Papita out of this top lane.
This is good by him. He's very, very strong. He's going Midas next. This is the build that Pasha goes a lot on Virtus Pro. He gets the early Vlads into Midas, or he just rushes Midas itself.
That's going to be 2 high-value target towers taken down. Top lane, and of course the one in the mid being the closest one to Roshan.
Yeah. Good play here by Infamous to use the roster wards. It's just going to be interesting to see this Necro, because like it's kind of weird, this hero in general. Like he might just get blown up, especially because he had a decent lane matchup, but he's died twice, so he's not as like farmed as this Kunkka. Like the network difference between the Kunkka and the Necro is so high. And this hero kind of needs to, like, you know, now he has his Holy Locket. He's going to go into the Guardian Greaves, it seems, just the build that people go now. So he needs to be able to survive the burst. Like, J.Storm's going to have a lot of this fast burst, and if he lives, they could win the team fight. If he dies, it's like, you know, they lose a lot of their damage output, because a lot of their damage output is this Heartstop Aurora.
We'll see if they can make that happen. Right now, though, it's Infamous smoked up, rotating around the map. They'll get some vision down in this bottom lane. You know, they won't be caught off guard if somebody does rotate down that lane in the future. It's just kind of a warding mission, getting some of this farm through the jungle, and maybe a reset, wait for these Serpent Wards to come up, and then make another move. We hear that X marks the spot here in the mid lane. Oh, it's just a little farming tactic.
Bryle.
Yeah.
Just doing, you know, Bryle things. Fear did just pick up a Blink Dagger, though, and that's going to be a pretty big reveal. In fact, they're actually going to go for a smoke. As Mu's going to join in on the fun. They go and use that Bloodlust. I think Mu might be going to farm up while Fear and March and
Fear does have
Bryle
RP as well.
look for a fight. Look at all the dries all over the map.
Dire's bottom tower is under
They're on the
attack.
hunt. They're on the prowl.
They need to be able to do something with Infamous now. They still have their Pandal. They haven't used it yet. Slowly, you know, this PA is just catching up more and more. Obviously, Sven's like one of the best carries at farming because he has an inherent battle fury on his hero. So he's gonna be high net worth. The problem is like they do have RP. Like if they honestly just can just RP him in the middle of a team fight when he pops his BKB. And as long as they are able to kite the Sven in the team fight, they should win on J.Storm. So he's going like Echo Saber into BKB on the Sven. BKB is really good for him this game. They have a lot of magic damage on J.Storm.
Do you agree with going for the BKB for the second item? Because I know when I was talking with Jenkins, he was saying like it almost feels like a lot of the times you have to go like second item. Like you have to get it like fairly early on, just because of the fact that if the game starts to go too far, the BKB is just a little too late.
I mean, he can't have that idea in his head because if this game goes too far, it's going to be really hard for them to win. So he needs to play like fast. You know, he needs to get this BKB. If he plays too greedy and dies in a team fight to some spells, like he could just lose the game. And really good for. Oh,
look at those shackles.
What?
Ferev's still gonna be able to get away though.
That was like some pretty clutch timing for Ferev to reposition there.
That
And
was
that's gonna
so big. That because now he's gonna delay the tower push.
Yeah, Serpent Ward's not in range to push on this tower. They do have Panda ult, but doesn't look like they're going to have to use it as kind of pressure being traded in both offlanes there.
J.Storm's playing really well right now. They're being patient. They're not forcing anything dumb.
To see the rotation coming out, hopefully trying to grab Brile, but he realizes that he doesn't want to be there. They have that over the Shrine. Scythe will get used in the mid lane. They'll find a quick kill on March. The Hex and the Shackles again. Pepita still holding on to that split. Fever making the rotation. They've got the boat. It's gonna give him that little bit of buff, trying to keep Brile alive just a little bit longer. Fear in the vicinity, but I think he's realized, yeah, this one's on you, Brile. You're on your own. Although he's still alive and kicking. Shackles come through.
There's a lot of time to kill him. It's not super bad. Like they spent so much time killing him. Moo's gonna get a lot more space. Let's check his item build really fast. He's just going treads into 4 Wraith Bands into a BKB. This is interesting. I've never seen this build.
It's that fighting build, right?
Do you think it's like he knows that Infamous is going to actually try to fight early too, so he's making himself ready for it?
I mean, it's not bad, honestly. I like it. It's like very, you know, it's not. He's not thinking right now about efficiency or anything. He's just thinking like the only way they lose this game is if Infamous ends this game at like 20-30 minutes, and if he doesn't have this BKB, he's not going to be able to team fight. BKB is so good versus Infamous's draft. They have literally only magic damage except for Sven. So the only way he really can die if he blinks in just gets chain disabled and gets reapered. But now it's like he can just blink in, you know, BKB, jump this Rasta, and the Rasta will die.
Absolute nightmare for the Rasta and Grimstroker.
They also just picked up on Ferev. He's got a Spirit Vessel, which is so good against this Necrophos.
Yeah. What is Black going? You know, he's almost. They need the Greaves, obviously. When you get the Greaves, it's going to be really good for him. Can take off the Vessel. So they need to be able to fight soon on J.Storm. Like, they're going to have their timing with the PA-BKB. Yeah, Moo just picked it up. Looks like it's coming on the Courier. And this is where J.Storm is strong, especially because Forev didn't go for this like Maelstrom build to farm. He went this Spirit Vessel build to fight early.
X out onto Papita. Torrent won't connect there as he gets a little bit of boost and that move speed to reposition himself. But J.Storm kind of hanging around, maybe thinking about it, but they're going to think about it a little bit longer as they head back down and then right back into the mid. Up and top though, there's still pressure coming out. They're keeping that wave shoved forward. That tower is taking chip damage repeatedly. A T2 probably going to go down in the next couple minutes here.
Got the BKB picked up on the Sven now, so could be seeing a lot of fighting. Moo's gonna go right over into the Roche pit. Just checking it out for now. Runs right into the Sven. Here the roll-up was thinking about it. There's gonna be the Panda split. Again, they've got their eyes on March. March is going to just get taken down, but the rest of the side of J.Storm seem like they want to just run away, although they do manage to get that Cyclone off over on Fear. Fear going to be able to blink. Boat will come through. And the roll coming out from Ferev should be able to get some really nice bounces over here in the corner. And they go and they take care of Moo. Even though he's dropped those Serpent Wards, it's going to be the slicing up of Viver as they Sven. He's still trying. Beautiful RP, though, onto the rest. That's a triple kill. Black trying to run himself away. Skeeter, he's trying to man-fight his way out. They do manage to get the Scythe off, though, and they'll take down Brile.
He got such a good RP off, but they just didn't feel like they had damage on top of that. Surprised.
It feels a little like, you know, we saw Moose get like some really nice Echo Slams at one point, but there just wasn't the follow-up. So your positioning is great, but your team just, either they're not alive or they just don't have enough damage. Or there's just too much healing, you know, there was a lot of healing that was going on throughout that fight too.
Or sometimes, like, I mean, if like a crit doesn't come through and you're not cleaving through everybody at the same time. But
I thought that was actually really good for J.Storm what happened. Like, they used the Pandalt and the Sven BKB, the 10-second BKB on like an overkill. And then if they just kind of run and wait for the Pandalt to end and like, you know, Sven God Strength to go away and then they fight, like, you know, the team fight is different. But I guess they just kind of got chased. So
yeah, it was Fear that got cycloned up, but he was able to blink out of it.
Again, he had a beautiful RP, but just...
I didn't even notice that blink hadn't been picked up.
Yeah, he picked it up fairly early, actually, considering that, you know, not a core Magnus.
Boundary in soon.
March. Oh, March. Oh, March. March is like the canary of J.Storm.
Oh, March.
He just, hey guys, danger.
Good night, buddy.
But if someone's going to get ganked, you want it to be March on that side. So, you know, he's doing his job.
So, Black's going to have his grief soon. It's going to be really important for him because of the only way he's going to die like really fast right now is the Vessel. And I wonder what item he's going to get after that. Probably maybe 4 staff, or maybe he goes for an armor item so it doesn't die for the PA. Like it's a very good Shiva's game for Infamous. So
it feels like if J.Storm does get a strong foothold in this game, it's gonna really come fast at Infamous because they're not fighting around cooldowns the same way necessarily.
So they're going for smoke play right now. Both teams are like, they got the, I think Brow is very close to his BKB. That's gonna be important for him, obviously. They're gonna go up high ground.
Deso on move.
Whoa! Whoa! There was a Piper there. Shackles will get thrown out. They use the Robo's Polarity though, trying to free him up. There'll be a great big old boat coming through, and they'll be able to clean up on Moose. Forever rolling around the back lines. Do have that BKB online for Skeeter. Papita trying to make as much chaos in the back as he can, but this is totally split up. Skeeter, I think, is probably going down here because there's just too many people as Moo is unstoppable.
That was the worst case situation for Infamous. The Grimstroke immediately got bursted, and the Necro wasn't frontlining. So they need to, the way that Infamous has to team fight is they need to let the Necro bait the spells, and they need to like make sure that J.Storm go on the Necro. The problem in that team fight is like the supports immediately died.
Well, I mean, at the beginning of that problem is that you're standing in a very commonly warded place, and they didn't have vision there.
This could be a throw. They still have Pandalt, and I think Black does have his Greaves as well. Oh no, very close to it.
They've realized that they probably shouldn't be in that pit just now. Get a Lotus Orb pick up on Forev, and you see the TPs. They want to contest this. They know that PA would have way too much fun with that Aegis.
200 gold for the Greaves. They don't have RP. It's really important that Infamous try and take a good team fight right now. And I don't know about this build by Papita not getting a blink. Like, I see his point about the Crimson, but I feel like he's there, like, if he gets a blink and it looks like they're going on.
Yeah, March and Moo. March again, just chased down, slowly but surely. He's gonna get taken down by Papita. Moo trying to run himself away. Forev is nearby, as is Fear. They don't have that RP. Moo gonna be able to blink, just use that blur. Try to run away.
Yes.
The taunt coming out from Forev. Says, come on guys, come on over. We'd love to play, but the Greaves are completed now for Black.
Yeah, they're gonna be just whoever gets this Roshan. It's like gonna be basically a Roshan war.
It's usually a war over Rosh, right? Oh, okay, Moose.
Yeah, Moose was just hanging around in mid for quite a while, trying to get some experience in there. Nice God Strength, Stormhammer comes down. Looks like Fear will get chopped on down. Scythe actually comes through as Black picks up that kill.
So if they're gonna go Rosh, Sven has his blink.
Do you still go in then if they buy back with their RP? I mean, you still have I guess, yeah.
God Strength is going to time out probably pretty soon here. March getting chunked down. Fire Blast holds him in place. Frev thinking about getting in there, but March goes down one more time.
He's going to get speared on the Necro. This Necro's going to be really hard for them to kill.
God Strength has timed out. Who's on target? Torrent into the Ghost Ship. This is a lot of damage that Black's tanking up, and exactly what you said. This is going to be good for them if he can stay alive for now. Mass Serpent Wards come down. Black's they have the Shackle in place as well. Everybody chasing Black over here. They've lost the Magnus. That's a dieback for Fear. Black finally drops down. Bryle kiting back up onto the high ground, but the chase is on. Papita and company going to pound town over here. They'll take down Moo, looking for Forev. He's Lotus Storm. He'll get himself up to the high ground, and it looks like he may have snuck his way out of this one. Cyclone actually catching up Bryle over here. And they will be able to take him down. What a turn of events there. As they, I mean, they're fighting without the God Strength at the end of that fight for Infamous.
It's because of what I said earlier. If they're going to win the team fight, if Necro tanks everything, which happened, he died, it doesn't matter because this team got so much out of it. I'm like looking at the fight here. I wonder how much damage the Heartstopper did. I don't even know if I can tell that. But, yeah. Regardless, that was like the best case situation for him. Their Sven God Strength was down, and Black literally took like 15 seconds to die. And the BKB is on the PA. Like, this is a problem also about rushing BKB. It's like, you know, there's obviously what benefits, but now it's going to be the smaller and smaller the BKB gets on this PA, the faster he, like, you know, it's hard for her to play this game. Because, like, at some point, if her BKB is 5 seconds, they just kite the fight as well. Like, they're going to have so many disables.
And sometimes you hold that BKB for the perfect moment, you get instantly hexed up before you can pop it. It can really blow up in your face as well.
Yeah. Infamous is definitely, like, they're putting up a really good fight. Not gonna lie.
I'm loving it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. Then we're gonna copyright struck.
I mean, my tone isn't good enough to get.
That was pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
They have Crimson. They have Guardian Greaves. They have their Sven, basically Sven Hall's items. They have Aegis. I'm not sure if Sven should have taken the Aegis. I think maybe you know, like Sven doesn't really benefit the most from it, but maybe it's fine. I'm sure entirely.
Yeah, you know, it's the Necrophos is going to be really. I want to see at the end of the game just how much damage that Black's actually absorbing throughout this entire thing, because they really, you know, the last fight was interesting because they split it up so much, right? You had 2 people chasing after Black on the Necrophos, and then on the other side you had this whole other fight, which I think worked well. But gonna go right back into the game though, and we've got some action going on here. Bryle is gonna have to run himself out.
Well, they'll go ahead and get themselves out of harm's way for now. Serpent Wards drop down on the T2 in the mid lane. March is the hero forward for J.Storm, but no defense to come out.
Dire's middle tower
I'm not entirely sure about this Vessel build on Pango. I know he likes it quite a bit. The problem is, like, you don't, like, this Javelin is, like, so good for this hero. Maelstrom in general, like, you don't farm that fast without the Javelin. Like, he's been doing this build for a long time, on 4 even games where Vessel's not even good. I think Thompson did it in the qualifiers, in the last major qualifiers, and I'm not sure if he, like, blindly is copying him. Obviously this game, it's like there's a purpose for the Necro, but I'm just not, like, a huge fan of this build. It's like you don't have damage with your Pango. Like, he has these 2 items, but, like, the one Javelin makes this hero do so much more damage. It feels like they're lacking damage in these team fights on J.Storm. Like, honest, that's actually what's happening. It feels like there's only PA doing damage.
It feels like that's kind of the plan, but just not working out for them right now.
Yeah, but I think, like, if you pick Pango, you need to also be able to do damage. Like, I don't see every, like, Pango, like, the best Pangos in the world, like Zai, I think is probably the best Pango. Like, he always buys this Javelin and Maelstrom, you know? Or just either one, regardless. So,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
like, what this Pango should have done is he needed to buy a Javelin and 2 Greaves. And, like, it's simple. Vessel's obviously good, but he hasn't really used the Vessel that well.
Hasn't been able to in a lot of these fights, honestly. He's going to get a Shiva's Guard pickup for Necrophos, it looks like, as his next item. Said that this is a great game for that.
You can even go the Javelin to Vessel if he still wants it. Just, you need this item.
Wow, there's actually Glimmer Cape, Ghost Scepter, and Aetherlens over on this roster right now.
That's some moves. That's how moves rolls, man.
Like, this guy is wealthy.
Yeah.
What's funny because, like, you know, we saw the Shadow Shaman picked up on the side of Infamous, but I remember very distinctly when Fear is playing the Shadow Shaman, he gets very, very farmed as well. I think there was a time where he was playing, he had, like, his Blink, Aether, and, like, an Ag Scepter. Like, this guy, he was just loaded.
Yeah.
Power that Bryle.
Next up, caught out. Wards have come down as well. Scythe dropped, and Black will clean up another one.
It's a cute Lotus Sword.
I'm confused why Forv didn't even try to, like, save him. Like, he could have just tried a Q and tried to silence the Shadow Shaman, but he didn't even try. He like if he does get the silence off, Brawl can BKB and just like make it so that it's gonna be a bit longer. But he didn't try because he's afraid of dying.
Well, got some action in that mid lane. Moo, though, going to be able to run away. They've already used a lot of that lockdown, although Skeeter making a rotation does find Moo. Will be able to start off with that Stormhammer. God Strength's coming through. Fear, standing nearby, allows him to blink out. Need just a little bit more lockdown.
Feels good, man, for Moo. That's like the worst thing as a Sven to pop your God Strength and have somebody just like completely blink away from you.
Yeah. So, I'm sure I need to ask Tor for his item build on the Sven this game. I'm not sure if he should go AC or just get the MKB. I think MKB's like, he needs the MKB right now. Like, Sven's going to be the main person that, like, the MKB Sven can definitely deal with the PA. Like, obviously AC is good, but I don't know if he necessarily needs it right now. They already have, like, the Crimson, they already have the Greaves. I think he needs to, like, scale with this MKB. He can get the AC after, that's all that matters.
Do you think he's prioritizing it just because he's worried about the Deso on the TA and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or not TA, sorry, PA.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's like, I see his reasoning. Obviously, AC just feels really good on Sven, but I think this game, I do like the MKB more.
Heaven's Halberd has been picked up now on Ryle, so looks like they're all smoked up and looking for some trouble.
That's what I like to see right here. Moo's Glimmer Cape. Look like they're going to make a move and maybe getting baited in here by J.Storm. Dagger flies, so now Infamous know the J.Storm are in the vicinity. And a bit of a standoff. Someone's going to have to back out of that one.
Up for F.
Lotus Orb reflects that Hex back.
This should make my life easier.
Yep.
Those bounties,
They're out of there.
That's exact.
I get trade bounties.
That was such a fast glimmer over on Moo's, just like, oh no.
I thought this game would be like super favored for Dire late game, but like I'm thinking more and more about it. Like this Pango's not really gonna scale with the items he went. Kunkka's gonna do less and less damage too. It's like they can like it feels like now like Infamous they could like they haven't really. They're gonna go this cool build on Panda 2. He's going the Radiance now, which makes it so he scales. He's gonna do a lot of damage, and Necro's gonna get more farm too. Obviously Sven will fall off at some point. But their supports like this Rasta is like, the Rasta is like the X factor, right? He's so farmed, he's gonna like eventually get an axe, he's gonna get his talents, and he could change the game. And it's like not as cut and dry as I originally thought. But obviously when PA gets his like 25, this hero is like a different beast. He gets the triple dagger that he used to get at 20. So
31 minutes into this one, it's 15-14 on the kill score. 4K net worth advantage over to Infamous, but really not too big of a deal at this point. Seems like a lot of heroes on the map hitting their timings as far as the items they want. AC was just picked up over for our Sven. Well, maybe they make a move off of this. I don't know if they want to wait for Shiva's guard over on Black. But you see J.Storm, it's been like a very defensive posturing from them for the last few minutes here.
I mean, they have the idea that they're gonna outscale. They have Magnus PA, so they want to like, they think it's okay to delay the game. The thing is, Infamous actually feels the exact same way too. Feels like they want to get the Radiance on Panda. They're not playing to end the game early. Even this roster's just farming. They're both sides are kind of playing a lot like very slow.
Moo's about to get wrecked here, right?
He'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a support though too. Like.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And that was the Abyssal Blade picked up once again on the Moo. A little bit more lockdown for them.
Yeah, Radiance up on the Panda. They need to be able to burst him. He didn't buy BKB.
That's really scary though. Like, I mean, you talk about bursting the Panda down, but at the same time, Black staying alive if they're focusing on the Panda. You have to really pick your poison at this point.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you've got very tanky heroes. You have to prioritize one or the other, and pray you've made the right choice.
I mean, they can definitely burst. The Panda will die, like if they use all their spells on him. So that is actually, I think they're like, if they get the Panda or either supports, they need to evade the Necro and the Sven a little bit. But their goal should be to get this Grimstroke, Rasta, or the Brew.
Skitter farming very far forward here. I like his playstyle. This guy's always trying to get as much gold off the map as possible. Very efficient. He reads the map. He's TP'd out. And they'll realize that somebody was in the area, but nobody saw him.
Shiva's up on Black. They're going to have Radiance, Shivas, Greaves, Crimson. It's going to come down to the next... What's the next Roshan? It's going to spawn in 25 seconds. Let's see who's going to scout this the most. I think they want to smoke on Infamous. They just picked up the Shivas. I think with the Shivas, like Black, he's going to be like even tankier. He's going to have insane amount of armor and the attack speed aura, especially which is good versus PA. Because like now PA needs to be in like close proximity to do damage.
Radiant's top tower is
And not
under
just like
attack.
this triple dagger kind of hero.
To the high ground. Stun coming out from March.
Should we just running up?
They start the rolling thunder.
They should burst the brew.
Yeah, he's gonna go try to save himself. There should be, yeah, they just get burst down. Forev still rolling around. Ghost Scepter comes out from Moose, but they'll be able to find themselves another target as they take down Beaver. And it looks like Black is now gonna get circled up. They've used the God Strength on the Sven. The buyback's gonna come out from the Grimstroke though. They're thinking about contesting. They want to fight BKB getting used again. Chasing down March. Couple hits here. One dagger coming out here from Moo. Can't really find him over in the corner. March actually going to be a liver, I think. No, X comes out, turns around the trees. We'll pull him right back in again. Bryle pops his own BKB as they're going to start chasing down Skitter. Skitter is in so much trouble right now. Fear coming over, wants to get on his action, and he's disarmed. There's nothing he can do as Moo just jumps on him.
Well, but am I wrong? But like the moment that Panda went down, it was like a hard out for Infamous, right?
I mean, the Necro needed to go first. It can't be the Panda. If the Panda wants to go up, he needs to use his ult. Like, he doesn't have a BKB. He's not like some... He went up there, like, Sophia thinks he's like some invulnerable god. No, he will die. Like, he has Radiance Crimson, but they have way enough burst. Like, this PA with some power, they have a lot of spells. Necro should have went uphill. Or they should have just used Panda. And instead, like, that one team fight them might cost them the game right now. Because now J.Storm has the Aegis and the cheese.
So much more.
It's a different story if he has his BKB. Of course, didn't have it then. Building into it now, but it's going to be a few minutes before he's going to have that up and running.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tower just getting chunked down here, but no.
Skitter, 30 seconds on the respawn for the Sven. Doesn't want to blow his buyback right now, but potentially going to be forced to here. As I mean, they're up under the high ground. They do X Moo as he moves in, so he's feeling really safe about this. Not a lot of pressure coming out from Infamous as they'll kind of bide their time, thinking exactly how they want to do this. And the clock does tick down on the respawn time here. Now Blinken, they'll have the skewer back. Will they be able to get this kill off as the Ghost Ship comes through? A lot of damage coming out. Will he get his ultimate off? Yeah, finally gets the split. And maybe the turnaround now as Black from the high ground starting to get a little bit of damage off. Wants to move out here. Skitter, he's on target. Mass Rip and Wars are down. They've lost March. The dunk comes out onto Bryle. 120 seconds on the respawn for him. And the chase is on. It looks like they have Moo. Moo still holding on to that Aegis. Along with Rev, they're going to try and duck on out of here. I'm not sure if there's any chase to catch them, so they'll go ahead and get themselves out. Great defense.
Yeah, Blur doesn't get removed by the wind and the other Panda. We need the Earth one. So the Earth Panda was too far away, so he was able to be blurred, and the Cyclone Panda didn't get vision. It's kind of sad for him, obviously.
Dire's bottom tower
Good
is
blur there
Sad
by
Panda.
Yeah, sad Panda.
Sad. Oh, sad Panda.
It was really important that they get that the kill there on the PA. But regardless, like this is what kind of happens if the Panda gets his ult off. So as long as PPT gets the ult off, like it looks like they're gonna win the team fights. I think it's hard for Dire to team fight them if Panda gets his ult, like, obviously. And they're gonna have to play like they need to be able to burst him. I'm not sure if they like didn't focus him properly, but he blinked in and he almost died. If he died, the game is like completely changed. He did have buy it though, so that's the one thing.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We did pick up the Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman now, so we were talking
Dire's
earlier about
bottom
not having that
tower
chase,
has
not being able to go and get the vision that was necessary. So we'll have that. Hold on, Moose finds Forev. He cancels out that TP. In comes the rest of the squad. Skeeter, they'll throw down that Stroke of Fate. Follow up with the Storm Hammer, the double damage. Just takes out Forev.
Moose. Nice job, Moose. It's good.
Does buy out though. So they put a Defiance.
We're really close to MKB on the Sven as well.
That's big.
Crit actually really likes Moose. I remember like Moose is actually one of like the coolest people to play with in the NA server. He's really good mannered. Like compared to everyone else on that server, like he's like a breath of, you know.
Yeah.
He's
like,
really
like
good.
in the form of not tilting or just being like supportive
No,
as a
he's
player.
just very nice. Like I've never seen the guy flame anyone. He's really calm, really fun to play with. Like
That's awesome.
when you get him on your team, you're like happy, you know. Like I got
He's
Moose.
adorable.
He
I've
always
got,
picks 5 position 2.
Oh,
So-
even
That's like Omega feels good, man.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of us in Sweden from one of the, I think from the minor with Infamous, and he's just got this great big grin on his face. It's wonderful. MKB is up and running though. So right now, you know, we're seeing the 3 scores on the side of Infamous. Not the top net worth, but very, very close. And it's just the PA, of course, with her Empower on there.
Dire's top tower is under
Has the
attack.
Abyssal Blade online, still has that Aegis, has the cheese, but have to be careful here.
Looks like AC next out for Bryle. He's got the gold for it, just has to get out to the shop.
Oh, I like this pickup. I like this pickup a lot, especially if it's going to be the Brewmaster who's the one front and
Yeah.
oh gosh.
So smart.
This
It's
area,
really good. And
this
this item-
area, Moo walks right up into Pepita. There's the Aeon Disc, and they go and they use the Abyssal. He's still trying to get that Primal Spit off. He's going to be able to use it. And they go and they get the Soulbind off too on the back end here. Skeeter, he's got that BKB. He's going to be able to take out Forever. There's not going to be any Rolling Thunder. Bryle now, nice RP comes out from Fear, but rest of the team's still alive and kicking. They've got the Serpent Wards down. They'll be able to take down Moose, but he's already got the wards. Will stun up Fear. March trying to keep him alive, trying to move him faster. Skeeter, he's doing so much damage. He's going to be able to chop down Bryle. March is going to get stunned up too as Black finds himself another kill.
Forv didn't get his ult off. That lost in the team fight. And this Aeon Disc purchased by Pepita was godly. Pepita, oh my, like this item also got buffed.
Pepita.
Are fortified.
That's a little questionable. I don't know. Silence. Bryle buys back. Wants to get in on this action. Black, he's really difficult to take down. Has the Crimson Guard that just got popped off here. They'll just get stunned up. The Force back, but the jump forward again. They want to take down Bryle. They know he's just fought back. The sight's going to come through. See you
Oh my
later, Bryle.
goodness.
You're not going to be here right now for this fight. Fear trying to run away. Not going to be able to do it. The Magnus going to buy back. Moo, he's all stunned up. He's going to try to jump over to March. March says, all right, buddy, I'll tank this for you. But they'll be disciplined on the side of him.
They had a buyback. Moose playing like so defensively. He has Aegis and Cheese at that point. That felt really weird.
Dire's
It just feels like they're lacking damage right now on Dire. Forv hasn't gotten his spells off.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks
Just
has
losing
fallen.
these buildings, and all that J.Storm can do right now is sit back and watch. Feel bad. So they didn't get that last hit on the racks.
Good guy, Black. He's going to give him that one.
Is he though? Is he? Because it feels like they're trying to bait something out here. You can hear Rev thinking about rolling up. So he's gonna hang out by
God
the
Strength is
trees.
back up right now.
Oh, March
Blink
again.
in. March, and they're actually going to have the Soulbind up as well moving forward. Silence onto 2. Will they be able to get Frev? It sure looks like it here. A lot of damage coming out Frev with repositioned back. Skitter stays on target. Chunks through one more attack. Will he get a skewer? Actually, Skitter up into the fountain. Now it's time to tuck tail and run. Pepita ult now coming offline as these guys have been here for so long. They're able to get these cooldowns up and running. Frev chasing forward with the Rolling Thunder. Skitter taking a lot of damage, but able to tank it up. Fear doing everything as can. Move finally jumping back in.
They're just taking the buildings here.
It's just space created for his team here.
Top tower
Bryle
is
is
under
literally dead for like the entire game.
It started off pretty well for Bryle, right? He had a couple kills underneath his belt, but they're tanky. They've got so much sustained healing. That's a nice RP coming out from Furious. He's going to try to push everybody right back into the circle, but it's going to be a dead Forev. And now Moo, he is in a lot of trouble. He's surrounded by team here. So they get the Soulbind off, they get the Shackles, and they get the kill. And they're just going to run down Fear. That's a team wipe. The only one with buyback now is, of course,
That's
the Phantom
gonna
Assassin.
be GG, right? You go for T4s
They're
on
going
that?
for
Yeah.
T4. Yeah, what are they going to do?
Dire's
I mean, you can see
middle
March
barracks-
waddle
could.
on out there on that Ogre,
They
but
couldn't take the fight before then. That was rough.
Radiant's
it's an
top tower
optimistic
is under-
buyback
Dire's
from
middle tower
Moo.
has fallen. Dire's ancient is under attack.
Well, J.Storm getting hurt here
Oh.
early on.
Moo? Is he going to find it? Oh, the Shackles. March gets out, and that's the kill. The good game, well played, gets calls. It's Infamous Gaming. Take game number 1.